Oh yeah, it's the ace. Oh, don't do it, boys. You don't know what you're up against. Tell them, Juno, what they're up against. Open fire! Alright, we are back to our zombie survival culture game here. Starring a girl, Juno. Last time around, we made a big decision. We either had to choose between Dr. Feinstein or Dr. Zera. Both of them presented viable cases. Both of them also kind of had a little bit of suspect intentions as well. But it seemed to be one of those situations where you had to pick one or the other. I went with Dr. Feinstein. I was under the impression that the Dryad mind-controlled Zara to get her to work for her. And assuming that's really the case, depending on who you choose to go with, the other person turns out to be in the wrong. Could be the case, sure, but at least with my decision, it seemed to make sense because Dr. Zara was indeed looking to screw us over. And then what happened to her was that she was indeed screwed by the Dryad. Quite literally. Now, if you're wondering what we need to do now, well, we had to apparently turn on the ventilation system to disperse this thing that'll probably stop the Dryad. We had initially done it, and then we found out that the person that we didn't choose to go with had ruined the process of doing that, which was Dr. Zera in our instance. But since she's now out of the picture, that power outlet was indeed restored. This should now be operational finally, for good. A massive air conditioning that hums loudly as energy courses through its many varied components. Let's diffuse the chemical agent.
Here goes nothing.
Juno pours the HAF-2B chemical agent into the air conditioning unit, where it rapidly diffuses into the machinery. The air itself changes almost immediately, even in the cooped-up boiler room. Juno stays inside the boiler room, watching every ounce of the chemical agent diffuse completely.
Did it work?
Just then, a powerful, telepathic burst of energy ripples out from somewhere in the middle of the universe, causing Juno to recoil in shock. An incredible amount of rage, disbelief, and above all, fear and unending sorrow. Juno feels the Dryad's dying emotions on full blast and grits her teeth, eyes watering. Finally, the energy wave subsides almost as suddenly as it started. Juno blinks uncertainly. There's only one thing for it now. Time to confront the monster.
And here we go.
Though most of the gas from the chemical agent appears to have dissipated, the damage has clearly already been done. The once mighty Dryad is a sorry sight. Much of her body appears to have literally melted away, and the once lively green shade of her skin is now a mottled, rotting brown. She appears to be gazing up sadly at the old man in the makeshift coffin, trying to summon the strength in her arms to touch him. But her arms fail her, and she crumbles even further. As Juno approaches, the Dryad looks up at her. Her eyes flash green, and a final telepathic message makes itself known.
Oh, you think you've won, haven't you? Even worse, you think you deserve victory. After all the tainting of the soil, all the burning of the woods, you think of me and mine as parasites preying off humanity, when in truth, you humans are the parasites, preying upon nature itself, and salting the earth with your hubris. You may have won today, but the inexorable march of evolution cannot be stopped by you alone.
So basically, humans bad. The mental imagery dissolves away, and the Dryad lies perfectly still in the ground, her face kissed with an almost childlike sorrow, and indignation and death. Was she actually a monster, or just misguided? Well, look, let's, if you've seen the demise scenes over on the Patreon, yeah, there was quite a bit of a monster side to her for sure. Whatever the case, the deed is done. Goodbye. Juno stoops over the Dryad's body. It houses the core DNA of the infection, which will prove pivotal to the cure. After all that, the time has finally come. Ouch. A sharp pain suddenly shoots across Juno's neck. She gasps, thinking the Dryad must have been faking her death. But the Dryad remains still. She puts one hand behind her neck and finds a dart. Oh, what's happening now? Who's betraying me? Ah, at last, the abomination has failed. Good riddance. Can you believe the gall of her, Townsend? Turning on her own benefactors like that? For shame.
What are you doing, Dr. Feinstein? Why did you...
Her limbs begin to feel extremely heavy. Juno's eyelids droop, and she finds herself staggering about to go on her knees. My dear Townsend, that there dart in your neck is a fast-acting tranquilizer. You'll be dead asleep in a matter of moments. Well, at least dead asleep's better than being dead in a matter of moments. Now then, operatives, harvest the Dryad and put Miss Townsend here in chains. We still need her for the immunization process. Yes, sir. By the time Juno steers and regains some form of conscious thought, she's sitting under blinding operational lights, and several men are standing over her body. Extraction complete, Dr. Feinstein. All that's left to do is to refine the sample, and we'll be able to create the immunization serum. Ha, excellent work, and right on time, too. The subject appears to be waking up. Another dose of anesthesia, sir. No, I believe I owe Miss Townsend here the answer to some of her questions, at least. Hello, Miss Townsend. Can you hear me? Don't try anything funny or if you don't want a bullet in your skull. That'd be a real shame.
What? Where am I? What did you do?
Excellent questions. Let's see. For starters, you are in Area 66. Area 66, huh? Not that the name would mean anything to you, I'm sure. It is a secure government facility housing some of the best and brightest of society. A protected shelter for the elite, if you will. As for what I've done, well, that's a multi-layered question. But what I've most recently done is extract the immunization from your blood.
Why would you do that?
To create a vaccine of sorts, Townsend. Don't you recall? You are immune to the HFS-based gas weapon. And we'd quite like to be immune too. And we'd quite like to immune too. I guess, yeah. I imagine it's more appropriate though, like we'd quite like to be immune too. After all, when we launch this facility's ICBMs loaded with HFS gas in the air, we need to be alive in the engulfs and the ensuing fallout.
You're doing what? But why? The Dryad is dead. You already have the...
I have the cold DNA harvested from the Dryad, yes, and I have used it to zero in on the infection's primary signature. All infected beings touched by the ensuing fallout will die. But, as most humans are infected, as I believe Dr. Peters may have told you, much of the remaining human population will perish too. Oh. Well, I guess Zero is right after all too, huh?
No.
Rest assured, please, Miss Townsend, that you will be spared, as we will all, now that you've extracted the immunity from you. I have no intention, however, of immunizing the majority of the population at large.
Dr. Zara was right about you. Why would you do this?
Because Miss Townsend, as much of a raving lunatic as Dr. Zara was, she was correct about one thing. Humankind is a plague. Overpopulation, pollution, global warming, the list goes on. The damage dealt to the planet are quite substantial. So all three of them really had the same theory in mind, right? Feinstein, Zara, and the Dryad, really? Humans bad.
You can't do this. This is inhumane, Dr. Feinstein. This is mad.
No, Townsend, this is progress. But never fear, you will not be a victim of the purge. You see, you repeatedly impressed me during our little adventures together. In spite of your subpar upbringing, you are clearly a product of superior stock. Therefore, you'd be ideal for my new breeding program. The surgeon turns to an IV hooked up on Juno's veins and prepares to inject something into it. Small beeping sounds begin to fill the air. The surgeon pauses mid-injection and looks uncertainly at Dr. Feinstein. Dr. Feinstein looks down at Juno, eyebrows furrowed, then spies Eva's locket, beeping loudly, flashing a red light. Uh-huh. Was General Hawk keeping tabs on us? A computerized voice starts blaring loudly. Yo, General, I think it could be General Hawk. I see. You had a tracker on your... Yes! Look at that. Hawk came through as the boy after all. How quaint, Miss Townsend. But your friends in the military won't be enough to save you. Operatives with me. We must look to the defenses and you. Put it down now. Dr. Feinstein storms away hastily with his operatives in tow. The shell-shocked surgeon looks taken back. Juno waits until Feinstein is out of the earshot, then watches the surgeon picks up the injection. She can feel the strength returning to her body, the tranquilizer's wearing off. The surgeon turns to face the IV bag. Okay, just relax now. Juno leaps off the operating table and barrels into the surgeon. What the? Juno barrels into the surgeon, then grabs hold of the syringe, jams it down the surgeon's neck, causing his eyes to bulge as he stares at her in disbelief, before his body rapidly goes slack. How do you like it, buddy? Stepping over the unconscious surgeon, Juno peers around the room and spots the nearby disposal bin. Where her items have been discarded, she quickly re-equips herself. I need to stop Feinstein. Okay, so we're back in business now, so I wonder if we're going to be blatting actual humans now?
But wait! There's more!
Well, let's hit the road here and find out. How do I shoot again? That's a very good question. I think it's A. Ooh. Well, we could probably get some information here first. Observation of reports, database number 66, facility operations and personnel. The recent reports are very clear. The way the infection is going, a total breakdown of the world governments will start within the year. We can no longer stop the fallout from the outbreak. Area 66 now receives unhindered government support. With this, we managed to recruit some of the top minds in the fields of science, medicine, and technology thanks to Dr. Feinstein's extensive connections. Many of these brilliant minds were his best former students and readily agreed to come on board. They brought with them their own followers as well, rising stars from the best universities on the planet. Some key individuals refused the invitation, such as Madame Amélie Zara. This means most of the picked staff from the WHO will thus not be able to join. What? What stings most perhaps is the refusal of Dr. Theodore Peters, the best diagnostician and infectious diseases expert on the planet, who foolishly chose to remain with the CDC. The Zaras are welcome, but not necessary. But without Peters, making the final solution work will have a much more pronounced difficulty. As previously foreseen, we have run into a problem with funding. Our planned infrastructure and future projects post-solution have incurred significant costs that our government partners simply cannot handle. We have thus put the sponsorship program into action. Representatives of Area 66 have been summarily dispatched to sponsorship candidates across the world. The proposal is simple. Pay the fee, and you get a safe haven when it all goes to shit. Of course, so not only do the brilliant minds get to start over, but also all the wealthy at the time. We have caught yet another officer with the military attached trying to leak Area 66 efforts, and one security contractor tried to smuggle his extended family into the facilities last week. Worthless fools. It has become clear that security can no longer be left in human hands, nor can the military's presence be trusted in Area 66 any longer. They must all be replaced at once. Thankfully, Project Gemini is now well underway. The first batch of the clones have reached maturity. The last complications with the accelerated aging and total conditioning process have been dealt with, so I guess we're not going to be running around blatting people right now, but we're going to be blatting clones. This is basically giving us that rundown. The Automated Cybernetic Enforcement Initiative aims to go further, one step further, in Project Gemini, for what is better than perfectly loyal soldiers at the peak of human condition. Advanced battle androids, that's what. Androids far beyond human abilities, not only loyal, but fully customizable and controllable, and boasting self-assessment and auto-repair functions. Using nanites interwoven into a carbon fiber shell, the ACE units will be able to withstand any incoming fire, even a direct hit from an RPG or tank shell. Assess and repair any damage, and keep fighting. This also makes them perfectly suited for scouting an ensuing wasteland once we prepare and launch the final solution. Unfortunately, the software requirements are more complex than we initially thought. The AI needed for the ACE unit to function continues to have trouble distinguishing from friend and foe. For now, we have issued specially made beacons that have thus far successfully prevented holders being attacked during ACE tests. This also ensures that they can issue commands to ACE units. However, this is an obvious security risk. As such, only key personnel and top-ranking Area 66 staff will receive these beacons. Further research and experimentation is needed. We must continue to rely on Gemini operatives to fill our security needs while we refine the AI. So we're going to be dealing with, apparently, clones and androids that we will not be able to put down with our weapons, because apparently if tanks and RPGs can't do it, I mean, what luck do we have here, right? The pristine white walls are chock full of numerous degrees, certifications, and awards. Dr. Erwin Harlan Feinstein, DS, MBBS, PhD, chair of the Neurosurgery and Neurology Committee, head of the Society of... Oh, jeez Louise. How many titles do you have, dog? And board certified grade A asshole who wants to end the war. I mean, she's not wrong about that. It appears to be a dedicated storage system for a series of observational reports. These will probably be, Feinstein's own reports themselves. Woohoo. Woohoo. 5 to go through. As predicated, the fallout from the outbreak failed to be contained. The infected broke out from the lockdown area in droves, forcing the military to retreat as they lost entire cities in succession. By now, most of the military strength will have disintegrated. Furthermore, with their leaders, the top officials in the government already ensconced here in Area 66, they are lost and disorganized. There are rumors that certain elements of the military have come together and united under the leadership of a man named Nathan Hawk, and have been slowly fighting their way up the East Coast. That was a mild surprise, but I do not expect them to continue to hold together much longer. The expedition proceeded as planned. Accompanied by the operatives, I flew across the country via helicopter, which left us largely undeterred. When I reached the Hamilton Square Hospital where WHO was last encamped, I was surprised to find Dr. Emmeline Zara, alive and unharmed, hidden away in an underground research lab. The rest of her team did not fare so well. Apparently the infection had caused the facility's containment to fail, and the infected broke free. Zara said she barely escaped from the ensuing chaos. However, Zara somehow established a communications network with Peters, and has been continuing her work all this time by remotely cooperating with Peters. She appears to have been using the hospital's infected population as test subjects, and has made several outstanding findings corroborating her data with Dr. Peters' expertise. The most interesting thing she's been attempting to do is the artificial stimulation of infected cells, thereby forcing them to advance to a further stage of their life cycle, which uncovers significant data. Forcing artificial stimulation onto infected specimens has resulted in the discovery of a hive, an organism born of the mass organic matter from rapidly deteriorating spore-releasing corpses. We believe this hive is the halfway point of the infection's life cycle. However, it would only naturally get to this point by using female humans as catalysts. Our artificial hives lacks this resource. As a result, our hives have started to perish without sustenance. In order to continue our operations or observation, we have sent out the operatives to scour the area for any female human survivors. Finally, everything has fallen into place. The core DNA has been extracted from the Dryad, and the Townsend girl has been retrieved after maturing the immunization serum in her bloodstream. So many things could have gone wrong. I suppose the best laid plans are just begging for failure. For starters, how could we have guessed that the university had been totally evacuated? I always remember that place being filled with students and staff in the hallways all days of the year. Got the shock of my life when I returned to find the hallways empty. Well, almost empty. As luck would have it, old Dean McAllister and that poor mute daughter of his remained behind. And she was the perfect specimen. Shame that McAllister couldn't see the greater good and put up such a struggle. Ah well. He died doing what he loved, being a decrepit old man with no love of progress. The Dryad was the daughter, and the reason why after we melted her ass she was in the coffin of that body was because that was the father. Oh, dude, I was wondering, like, that scene, I didn't understand it. Like, I was like, what is this Dryad that's melting seem to be so torn up about this body in the coffin there? Dude, that's crazy. So they're the ones, he's the one who used the daughter, which is kind of intriguing because when we got to that McAllister office, he did talk about being there with his daughter and they had cots and food saved up, but we never really found out what happened to them, right? We just assumed they died. But it was just kind of left it up in the air, like what happened to the dean and his daughter. well, there you have it there. Awesome. So again, this is one of the reasons why, like, the game does a lot of data dumps on you at points where it just kind of does just nothing but story exposition, which is fine because you learn more, but it does feel at points where, like, it's just a lot of information being dumped at you, a lot of reading and parts like that. But had we not taken the time to read about that stuff just now, we would have never found out where the Dryad came from, who actually was, and why that little scene happened. So, I mean, you definitely do gain a lot from reading all the stuff here, although there is a lot to read. What's up? A violent explosion rocks the air. Juno has found a squadron of 4 patent soldiers facing off against Area 66 operatives, who appear to be on the losing side of the battle. Oh, they're losing? I thought they were clones, though. Well, I guess clones can go down. It's just the androids that apparently cannot. You like the taste of that shrapnel, assholes? We can't hold this position any longer. Retreat. How you doing up there, Ringer? A lot better now that I know you guys are here. So, what's the situation like? Looking good at the moment. We caught them with their pants down and hit them with full force. Suffered a few losses, but they're much worse off. We seized most of their outer perimeter, and this slot are falling back hard. General Hawk ought to be ordering a final push any second now. General Hawk is here? In the flesh. He's leading the charge personally. Excellent. Feinstein won't stand a chance. You should link up with our forces, Ringer. There's a strike team headed in your direction. Rendezvous with them and join us for the push. Wouldn't miss it. I mean, shouldn't we warn him about the stuff that we just read about? You know, androids and clones? Like, hey, heads up. You might suddenly run into some situation where you can't actually win because they're androids. And they apparently can take missiles and rocket launchers to the chest and be perfectly fine. Alright, well, you know. We read it, but we choose not to disperse such knowledge to them to help them out. Here they are. Aha! Oh, you guys are a sight for sore eyes. Hey, Ringer, good to see you. We've heard you might come in ahead of us. Be with you real quick. We're nearly done clearing this place. Just one more straggler left. Alright, keep them walled in. He's huffing, he's puffing. It's gonna blow the house down. Oi! We got you surrounded. Lay down your weapons and put your hands in the air now. Come on, give it up. Don't force us to shoot you. The operatives hold up his hands as if to surrender, then slams him down a large red button next to him. Damn it, take the shot! The operative's body jerks violently as it hits with a well-aimed bullet, and he sucks in his last shuddering breath before slumping down dead. What did he unleash on us here? Is it those 3 doors right there? He's dead. Dumb bastard. What the hell was that last thing all about? Oh yeah. It's the ace. Oh! Oh goodness God. Well yeah, I guess they're not even remotely human in the slightest. Those are like straight up androids. Oh, don't do it, boys. You don't know what you're up against. Tell them, Juno, what they're up against. What are all these things, robots or something? Targets identified. Commencing pacification. Open fire! You are being pacified. Please do not resist. Keep shooting! Keep shooting! This is where you should start running. You are being pacified. Please do not resist. Yeah, fall back, boys. Too late? Too late. Oh, good. 3 of them, too. Pacification completed. Target identified. Commencing pacification. Oh, here we go. Okay. Oh, do you think I have to get around them? Somehow? Okay. You go through here. Oh, of course, you would be the fast one. Alright, boys. Okay. Not good, not good. Alright. I guess loot Falcon? No, don't worry about loot right now. Just get at it. Okay, we've escaped him. I need to find Hawk and get a handle on the situation. You know, you could have probably told them what the Oh, there's more. I mean, you're not safe too, buddy. No, stop. You're supposed to protect us. What's wrong with you? I'm on your side. Error detected. Friendly verification failed. Recalibrating. Target identified. Commencing pacification. No, I'm a friendly. A friendly, I tell you. You are being pacified. Please do not resist. Yeah, that friendly stuff ain't gonna work with these boys.
Oh, these things are insane.
You're even attacking the Area 66. We know about this, Juno. We read about it. Okay. Oh, fast one. Ooh. Oh, but the goods are around. Oh, no. Wrong. Okay, look, just get out of here, dude. Forget about the loot. Get about the loot. Fast boy, please. Okay, that one's gonna grab us. Break him off. And we good. Regain. Okay, let's go back. Hawk? No, not Hawk. Hold fire. That's the ringer. Let her through. Or at least we're out of here. Is anyone behind you, Ringer? Shouldn't have run into a full squad on your way here.
They didn't make it. There's some type of crazy new enemy, a machine of some kind.
It's literally a Terminator. Shit. So they've been deployed in there too? You best meet with the General immediately, Ringer. This is getting way out of hand. Crazy how this turned into, like, a zombie game. Now we're dealing with freaking androids and stuff. It's a really wild ride, man. I like this game.
General Hawk.
Juno, I knew you would find your way to us.
Well, most of the credit has to be given to your daughter's necklace.
Indeed. Once your prolonged absence became suspicious, we set off after you at once. That bastard Feinstein, he dared to make off with the data. I knew he was untrustworthy, but to think he had something like this planned.
You arrived right on time. How was the situation here? Do you know about those crazy machines?
Yeah. We have been unfortunate enough to experience their combat abilities firsthand. The momentum of our initial assault carried us this far. The original garrison was too outnumbered, and outgunned stand a chance. But as soon as they deployed with these combat androids, they brought to us a standstill. They boast extraordinary defensive capabilities we cannot overcome. Even the heaviest weapons in our arsenal serve only to temporarily halt them. They seem to have some kind of rapid self-repairing function. It has taken all of our efforts simply to hold this position against them. They've now settled into a defensive formation and would not budge.
Well, that's good for us, but why would they just hold their positions?
I believe it's because their numbers are too few to launch a punitive counterattack. However, they have enough strength to hold this checkpoint. Our reconnaissance has uncovered underground missile silos north of here. I believe those androids intend to defend those silos. Those are going to be the silos that are basically gonna take out the remaining people that are still alive and the infected as well.
General, we got someone here claiming they want to surrender. They say they work here in Area 66.
What? Bring it up here quickly.
The head of Area 66, Feinstein, he's gone mad. He authorized the guards to activate the ACE initiative.
ACE? Is that what you call them androids?
Yes, they're called ACE units, automated cybernetic enforcers, but they aren't ready to be deployed. We've warned Feinstein. Their AI is still flawed. They can't distinguish friend from foe. They've been killing all my friends and colleagues. All of them. I've only barely got away and escaped by climbing down a waste chute. The others have been...
I have no pity for you. My men were at the receiving end of your inventions. Just tell me how to stop these androids now.
I understand. I'll help you. This has gone too far. The AC units are all linked to one central mainframe located in our research lab.
Where is it?
Just north of here, up the road. But the ACE units have been ordered to guard that approach. There's still a way, though. The way system, it's not guarded. You can infiltrate from the sewer and get into the lab that way. Once you're inside, you have to go to the 3rd floor, where the mainframe is kept. But be warned, the AC units will be on patrol.
I see. We're like Solid Snake. That's who we are here. Just solo infiltration of all these places by ourselves. Now then, we have no time to waste. I will hold our position against the AC units here, while you infiltrate their lab and destroy the mainframe. Take this. So basically we're blowing up Metal Gear.
Speaking of your daughter's condition, General, I've been thinking, and something's been bothering me. Do you mind answering a question?
Is this really the time?
It's something I'd like to get to the bottom of.
Very well, speak.
Well, with your daughter's condition, that means you knew far more about the hives than you let on. About hivelings and all that. You knew everything.
Unfortunately not, Miss Townsend. You blatantly wronged me in that regard. I had never encountered hivelings prior to the downtown expedition. I would not let my troops blindly walk into a situation like that if I knew anything about it beforehand. The hive I rescued my daughter from had matured to the point where it had likely recalled all its resources for that final hatching. The path to the hive was almost undefended. It is perhaps the only moment a hive is truly vulnerable, and I was lucky enough to catch it at that time. But that also meant my daughter had been halfway incubated by then. A bit of victory.
Right. Sorry, but one more thing.
Speak.
You know the hive incubates people, and you ordered me to confront it. What if Ellie had already been incubated? You didn't warn me. I could have killed Ellie without even knowing what I had done. Also, you could harvest a dead dryad, born of a dead little girl.
Yeah, I knew. And I ordered you to do it anyway. Is that the confession you wish to hear? Because I gladly give it to you, Townsend. I gave up those orders because those orders would have resulted in a chance for my daughter to be cured. I would not apologize for doing everything in my power to save my daughter, Townsend. But I will apologize for conspiring to make you commit murder.
I can't say you're forgiven. You did it for Eva's sake, after all, but...
I will answer for my crimes, Townsend, when my daughter is healed. Until then, I will continue to make the hard choices. Man, this story does not let up, does it? Good God almighty. Character development, a bunch of lore and actual history and how things happened. Amazing, well put together story, man. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed it. Stick around for the next one. I'll catch you then.